Let's talk about some winter knitting pattern inspiration and my knitting plans for the upcoming winter season. By the way, if we haven't met before, my name is Annika and I'm coming to you from Germany. I am an avid knitter as well as a natural yarn dyer, and I love everything that is related to the fiber arts. Like I said, today I want to talk about winter knitting, and I'm also going to give you an update on my fall knitting because I did not get to knit all of the things that I had planned to make this fall. So I'm going to show you the projects I'm currently working on, and I'm also going to shift some of the knitting plans that I had for the fall but didn't get to at all towards winter. So I'm also going to talk about that. Let's get started. So in my fall knitting plans video, I said that I wanted to knit 2 cardigans this fall. And the first one is one that I am still working on, and it is this beautiful cardigan that is knitted with unspun yarn. So this is knitted in yarn from Onerok Air. The colorway is called Nogran and it is from the August collection of this year. And it's this beautiful light brown or very dark beige, and I absolutely love the way it is turning out. I am using a, let me check, US 2 and a US 3 needle size, which correspond to a 2.75 and a 3.25 millimeter needle. The pattern that I'm using is the Slanted sleeven by Annika Strick, and you knit it obviously from the top down and work in integrated button band, which I really like. I think it looks very lovely. This is done by double knitting, and I am now past the point where I have split it for the sleeves and I'm now working the body. The inspiration for this knit came from Caroline, who is one of the owners of Onerok Air, so the company who makes the beautiful knitted in yarn. She knitted also a cardigan in Nogran, and what she did is that she added some color work both on the sleeve cuffs and the bottom hem. I'm going to show you a picture of it, and I'm planning to do something similar. What she did is that she used the colorwork motif from the Lunenburg pullover by Amy Christoffers, but I decided to come up with my own design. Let me show you. First, I did a little swatch. I hope you can see this, but I was just experimenting with the colors and which colors would show up and which wouldn't. So I have this bowl of yarn here. This is all knitted in yarn, different scraps and just small pieces from a couple of surprise packages that I ordered from Knitted In, where you simply get 200 grams of knitted in yarn and you do not know which colorways you're going to get. So I've wound them all into little balls, and then I experimented a bit with my swatch here, and I even tried to make a little schematic. Let me show you. So this is it. Those are all the colorways I decided to use, so that's quite similar to the ones that I used here. And yeah, this is what I came up with and what I'm planning to do. It is a total of 41 rows, so I will probably need to start working the color work on the body very soon. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to finishing this project and being able to wear it very soon. And the second cardigan that I had planned to make this fall, I did not get to at all, but I will probably cast it on as soon as the other cardigan is done. And this is the Turtle Dove cardigan that I'm planning to make. It is a free pattern by Sonda Yarn Co. And I think it was part of the Line magazine issue 18, I think. Is that right? Yes, issue 18. So I am again going to use unspun yarn, this time this beautiful dark green or blue. This is called Vidunder, and it was also part of the August collection of this year. And I'm going to hold one strand of the Vidunder together with one strand of a silk mohair. So this is from Sonda Yarn Co. This is called Petrichor, the colorway, and the base is Halo. It's 72% mohair and 28% silk. and I think those two yarns will look very lovely combined, and I cannot wait to cast this on. But I do get overwhelmed if I have too many garment projects on the needles, and I also don't have enough cords and needles, so I'm going to wait until the brown cardigan is done, and then I'm going to cast on this lovely green cardigan. Next up is another project knitted with Newton yarn. I'm sorry this is not going to continue all throughout this video, but I just happen to be knitting a lot with unspun yarn lately because I just discovered it this year. So this is another one of my fall knitting projects that gets pushed towards the winter knitting as well. And this is a dress that I'm making. It is knitted from a vintage pattern called Open Stripes, and this is how far I've gotten. So it has this beautiful all over lace motif. And to be honest, I am now at the point where I really have to try the dress on and see if it even fits. And that's why I don't know, I think I put it on hold because I was procrastinating putting it on an additional cord and seeing how it fits. So anyway, the yarn I'm using, like I said, is one strand of Newton yarn. This is Apostrophe from, I think it was the March collection of this year. And I'm holding it together with one strand of a silk mohair. This is the Tin Silk Mohair by Sandnes Garn in the colorway 3511. And I think I already mentioned that the pattern is a vintage pattern. It is from the 70s, and I got it off of Etsy for, I don't know, maybe €2. It was very cheap. I'm going to link it for you in the description box in case you're interested. This is a bit more of an elaborate knit, I have to say, because I have to rework the math for the pattern completely. My gauge is completely different, and I also found the construction of the dress a bit strange, so I am doing my own thing now. But this probably also adds to the fact that this is taking me a bit of time. I would love to finish the dress just in time for Christmas in order to wear it on Christmas. We'll see if I get around to it. I probably would be able to finish this without any problems if I would solely focus on this pattern, but since I'm also making a couple of gifts for my loved ones and also have some other things on the needles that I'm excited about, I'm not sure if I'll be able to get it done, but I'll definitely keep you posted. Next up is a sweater knitting project that I had also mentioned in my fall knitting plans video, and in this video I had called it the cozy sweater. At that time I wasn't sure which pattern I wanted to use. I was thinking about either doing the sweater number 28 by My Favorite Things Knitwear or the Rib Jumper by Anne Wenzel. And I was originally intending to spin the yarn myself using just a gray merino fiber that I have in my stash. And I wanted to hold it together with a strand of a cashmere yarn that I have from unraveling a sweater that belonged to my father-in-law. I have unraveled this years ago. I have a large amount of this beautiful naturally colored cashmere yarn, but it was a lot of work, so I really want to make something with it. So in the end I decided not to spin the other yarn myself, but to use this beautiful blend of alpaca, cashmere and silk. This is from the Hill Country Weavers shop in Austin, Texas, that I just got in October. So it is called Naturally HCW ACL. So HCW is Hill Country Weavers and ACL is Alpaca Cashmere Love. And the colorway is called Silver, and this is a very beautiful and very soft yarn. And together they create this beautiful lightly mulled fabric. So you might be able to tell that this is the sweater number 28 that I decided to cast on. It looks admittedly very strange here, a bit like a sweater for a giraffe or something, but this is due to the fact that I intentionally made the, the neck Yeah, I think it's the neck, right? So I made the neck double the size of what is written in the pattern, because I either want to fold it over and have a turtleneck or fold it inwards, because I really like the look of that. And I have already done these beautiful shoulder increases with the pretty line that you can see here. And now I've put the stitches of the front on hold, and I am working on the back to shape the armholes. And if I am done with the back, I'm going to do the front, knit it flat, and later on join again in the round after the sleeve opening is shaped, and then I'm going to knit down. So this is a wonderful project. I can highly recommend this pattern if you are toying with the idea of knitting a sweater number 28. It does contain a lot of purling because you have those gather ridges and the knit purl sections in between, but personally I don't mind purling. I am a continental knitter and I don't really care if I do a knit stitch or a purl stitch, so that's completely fine with me. But the constant change of the motif, so to speak, is very addictive, and I absolutely love this project and I can hardly put it down. The needle size I'm using is a 4mm needle or a US 6 with a gauge of 24 stitches and 38 rows over 10 centimeters or 4 inches. And overall, this is a wonderful project. So those are the 4 knitting projects that I am rolling over from the fall knitting into the winter knitting. And one more pattern that I wanted to mention that is perfect for winter is the one that I'm wearing right now. I have just finished this one. I haven't even blocked it yet, and it is the Porcelain Damask sweater by Lene Holme Samsø. She just came out with this pattern at the beginning of October, and as soon as I saw it on Instagram, I knew that I had to make it. I absolutely love the classic, elegant look of it, and it's also so soft and cozy. It is knitted using one strand of a merino yarn together with a silk mohair. I used the Knitting for Olive merino in the colorway Nordic Beach, together with a strand of the Knitting for Olive silk mohair in the colorway Oat, and I love the fabric this created. Using the Nordic Beach colorway was heavily inspired by Rachel from Those Twins Who Knit, who used this to make a design from Sari Nordland. She wore it in one of her podcasts and I absolutely loved it when I saw it. And I'm also very happy with the way it came out for me. So as you can see, this is a drop shoulder design. It is intended to be worn with quite a bit of positive ease, but mine has a lot less positive ease than what was called for in the pattern. I intentionally made the smallest size and I also had a tighter gauge, so I knew I would get a lot less positive ease than what was recommended. But sweaters that are very boxy and have a lot of positive ease usually do not look as good on me as they do on others, so that's why I opted for a bit of a tighter fit. In the end, I think a bit more positive ease would have looked completely fine, but I'm still very happy with the way this one came out. You might be able to tell that there is definitely a bit of positive ease for me, but not very much. I have not measured the sweater yet because it's not blocked, and I'm going to do that afterwards and then let you know how much positive ease I have on me. But overall, I can highly recommend this design. It is knitted from the top down and also features this beautiful folded collar, which I really like, and has those bands of alternating knits and purls which create this Guernsey inspired texture, and I'm absolutely in love with it. The needles that I used are a US 4 and a US 7, which corresponds to a 3.5mm and a 4.5mm needle. If you like these Guernsey style inspired designs, I wanted to mention a couple more patterns. So the first one is the Storm Sweater by Petite Knit, also a very beautiful pattern. It is knitted in the Sandnes Garn per Gint, which is a DK weight yarn, and it's also a drop shoulder design that is knitted top down and intended to be worn with quite a bit of positive ease. She recommends 26 centimeters, which corresponds to 10.25 inches. So this would be a lovely option. Another one is the Alvar Pullover by Sari Nordland, also knitted with a DK weight yarn, and it also features those drop shoulders and the boxy fit. And the third sweater pattern that I wanted to mention is the number 8 Guernsey Genser by Sandnes Design, which is knitted with also the Sandnes garn pear gynt, held together with one strand of the silk mohair, and this creates a DK weight yarn. Another very beautiful pattern that I can highly recommend. Next up is a big colorwork project that I have wanted to make for the longest time. The pattern already came out in 2018 and it was on the cover of Pom Pom magazine. This is the Ixchel by Catherine Clark, and I love this design. I think it looks absolutely stunning, but I imagine it will be a bit more of an elaborate knit for me because it does contain this all over colorwork motif. The sample was knitted with a sock yarn from Magpie Fibers, so a fingering weight yarn, but the pattern also includes instructions for a sport weight version, and that's what I'm going to do. The yarn I have picked out is from Sonder Yarn Co, and it is the Sunday Morning Luxe Sport, which is a blend of 65% Blueface Leicester, 25% Masham and 10% Cashmere, and it is a very, very lovely yarn. Those are the two colors that I chose. The navy one is Cover to Cover and the gray is Stormy Weather. Now I'm still contemplating whether I should get a strand of either a silver or maybe even a gold silk mohair for the contrast color. I am not sure yet. This might be an option, and I'm also thinking about making this either my Christmas or New Year's cast on. So we'll see what I decide to do, but I'm very much looking forward to tackling this huge colorwork project. The next pattern that I would love to make this winter is the Tweedy Shrug by Beata Jacek, and this is actually a free pattern, which is always nice. It is knitted with a DK weight yarn, and I personally would really like to make a Tweedy version as well. I was thinking about trying out the Sandnes garn pear gynt. I'm going to put up a picture for you. I'm not sure if you'll be able to tell, but the pear gynt does come in a number of Tweedy colors. Another option would be the Sandnes garn recycled tweed, which is also very lovely but a lot pricier. The advantage is that I could have a look at both yarns at my local yarn store here in Mannheim in Germany, which is called Amatalana. So I'm still undecided, but this looks like such a cozy and comfy piece to throw on in the winter when it's just a little bit cold, and I would absolutely love to make this one. Let's move on to accessories now, and there is one pattern in particular that I absolutely would love to make, and it is the SoHo Square by Jackie Rose. The pattern comes in 3 different sizes, and I would love to make the medium version. I've already got the yarn for it, and again, this is Sonder Yarn Co. This time in the Sunday Morning 4-ply, which is a blend of 75% Blueface Leicester and 25% Masham. The colors that I chose are, let me think, you are going to, okay, from left to right, I hope that's correct. This is going to be, that's Personal Space, Stormy Weather, Cut Flowers, and Ritual. And I think this combination is going to make a lovely SoHo Square, and I really hope that I'll find the time to be able to cast this on very soon. Another shawl that I would really like to make is the Nightshift by Andrea Mowry, and I already got the yarn for this one as well. So I'm planning to use my own hand spun. This is a 100% BFL that I spun as a 2-ply, and I got the fiber from a German online shop called Wollreinheit. I'm going to link it for you in the description box in case you are interested. But since I'm still very much a new spinner, this yarn came out very bulky. I hope this is going to work out for the shawl. I have 300 grams in total, and I'm toying with the idea of holding it together with this lace weight alpaca yarn. So this is, let me check, 65% baby alpaca and 35% silk, and the dyer is, is Yarn Tracker. I got these lovely skeins at Gage Yarn Store when I was in Austin, Texas in October. And the colorways I have are Libertina and Blue Bonnet. I think color-wise those would look really nice with my handspun, but I'm not sure if I can pull these very different yarn weights off in a shawl, or if this would look very strange. I'm not sure yet, so if you have any suggestions, please let me know, but I definitely want to make the Nightshift shawl by Andrea Maury. Another accessory that I want to knit for myself this year is a hat, and I've already started working on it. Let me show it to you. So this is one of my own designs, and this is called Schneeflöckchen Hat, which means little snowflake in German. Let me give you a closer look. So the Schneeflöckchen Hat features this very simple colorwork motif and also has a double brim, which keeps your ears extra warm. And I really like this pattern. I originally designed it for my daughter, and that's also why it is called Schneeflöckchen, because of the little snowflake. And she really loved to wear the sample. I have made several versions of my Schneeflöckchen Hat design ever since. And I do not have one for myself, so that's why I wanted to make one. I am again using unspun yarn, and this time I am using Mancelopis by the Spanish company Wool Dreamers, and I'm holding it together, or not together, but the contrast yarn is an undyed cream color from Istex, which is their Plötulopi yarn line. So those are the yarns that I'm using, and the needle size I use is a 3mm needle, which corresponds to a US 2.5. The gauge that I'm getting is a lot larger than the one that the pattern was originally written for. So I'm at a gauge of 18 stitches and 30 rows over 10 centimeters or 4 inches. So that's why I had to cast on a lot fewer stitches than what is written in the pattern. But yeah, besides that, I'm just following the pattern to a T, and I'm really enjoying this project, and I'm already looking forward to be able to wear this cozy hat. Another hat knitting pattern that I'm going to cast on very soon is the Oslo Hat by Petite Knit, because I'm going to knit a hat for my sister for Christmas this year, and she has already chosen the yarn for it. I'm going to use the Sandnes Garn Double Sunday in the pale blue color from the Petite Knit collection. That's the colorway 5930, in case you are wondering. And the Oslo Hat knitting pattern comes in two different versions. So you have a DK weight version where you use 2 strands of fingering weight yarn held together, and there is also the option for a fingering plus mohair version, which comes out to a sport weight gauge. I think this is going to be a very quick and enjoyable knit, and if you are more of a beginner knitter, I think this would be a suitable pattern for you. And there is one more accessory that I would love to knit this winter, and it is the Songbird Mittens by Erika Häuser. So this is an absolutely stunning pattern that I've had in my library for a couple of years now. I had already casted it on years ago, and I was using the yarn that I had at that time, but since the pattern only comes in one size, the mitten turned out to be way too small. And at first I thought it could fit my daughter, but then it got too small even for her. So I've decided to simply start over. The yarn I had picked out for this is the Holst Garn Super Soft in the colors Nougat and Navy Heather. And I think they make a very lovely combination for those mittens, and I'm planning to use them again, but this time I'm going to hold the yarn double to get a mitten that will better fit me, hopefully this time. So we'll see when I get to round to knitting this beautiful pattern. I would really love to have the beautiful Songbird mittens to wear, but I'm not really sure which needles are best in this case, if I should use double pointed needles or circular needles. When I knitted the mitten the first time, I used these 9-inch circulars, which just have a very small circumference, but my hands weren't really comfortable with those, so I'm not sure what to do yet. I'll probably opt for a larger circular needle and do a just magic loop, but I'm not completely decided yet. So those are my winter knitting plans for this year. If you would like to gift me one of the patterns I have talked about as a way of saying thank you for the video or as a way of supporting my channel, I do have a wish list on Ravelry, which I'm going to link in the description box. Please do not feel obligated to check it out, but if you do decide to support me, thank you very much. And I would also love to know what you are currently knitting on or what you are planning to knit this winter. So please come share in the comments so that we can all inspire each other. Until next time, bye guys!